Hey friends, my name is Michelle Nichols. I'm a photographer based out of Boise, Idaho, and I have 10 tips today on how to feel more comfortable posing. Whether you're the photographer or you're going to be in front of that camera, I hope you find these helpful. So number one is to look at your photographer's feed. You've probably already done this. Obviously, if you're booking a photographer, you like their work, but you can tell a lot about a photographer by their work or like by their energy level. Is it bright, colorful, happy? Are the models laughing a lot? Or is it more fashiony, moody, more serious poses? There's always going to be a little mix with both probably, but in general, you can tell like what to kind of expect just by looking at their feed. And look on Pinterest, find some poses that you love, and if they look unfamiliar, practice in the mirror prior when nobody's looking. Like if it looks weird to have your hands on your head, just try it. It takes out some of that initial awkwardness and no one knows what, they can't see you. So it helps a lot with breaking that ice. So number two, if you don't know your photographer in person already, meet with them beforehand. I promise it's worth the 30 minutes to chat beforehand. Not only is it an icebreaker, because posing is already an awkward situation as it is, but when you don't know somebody on top of that, it's really hard to get the ball rolling if you don't feel comfortable with that person. So it's worth it just to take 30 minutes, chat, go to a local coffee shop if you need to, just get to know each other a little bit, and then voice your concerns or any questions you might have. And it goes a long, long way to making the photo shoot a lot more fun. Number three, which goes along with number two, is bring a good support team to the photo shoot. Don't bring somebody that doesn't want to be there, that's in a rush. Bring somebody that's going to support you, make you laugh, make you feel good, excited to be there. That energy translates a lot on set or just on location. Number four is what to wear. I'm hoping your photographer is educating you with some tips on what looks good in portraits and photography, but look on Pinterest for ideas. But most importantly, wear something you feel comfortable and confident in. It's already awkward to pose, and then if you're feeling self-conscious, it's a recipe for disaster. So obviously wear something that is beautiful and you feel confident in, but you feel comfortable in, because there's already so much going in your mind about your makeup and your hair and posing. The last thing you want to worry about is what you're wearing. Number five, this is really important for photographers, but keep it moving. I think we've all been in those family pictures that we're all just sitting there going, cheese, for it feels like 5 minutes long. And the more you sit in one position, in one location, the more you start thinking about what you're doing and the more awkward and forced it feels. So keep it moving. It can be as simple as just shifting your weight from side to side, from one leg to the other, walking down the street. If you have a dress on, twirling in your dress, playing with your hair, just keep it moving, and then you won't even have time to think about what you're doing and it'll feel less awkward. Okay, number six, one of two places that people hold tension in the most is their shoulders. So I, as a photographer, really look for that when they're starting to feel, even if they're concentrating on what you're having to say, just naturally we tense up here. So just think periodically to just relax your shoulders or roll back your shoulders is a really good cue to give if you're a photographer. And if you're the model, just take some deep breaths and shake it out if you've been in a position for a long time. And it does wonders to making you look a lot more natural. And number seven, the other place we hold tension in is our mouth. Now, some people do it more than others, but especially if you've been posing a lot, and then if you're doing a serious pose, it's really easy to get really tight up here. So if I see that, I just tell the model, just breathe through your mouth. And it's not a huge, wide open mouth, it's just barely parting your lips, and it just instantly relaxes the whole face and just gets you out of that weird forced look. Number eight, subtle changes go a long way. I feel like normal people feel like they need to be America's Next Top Model to get really good poses, and that couldn't be farther from the truth. It can be literally just you looking one way and then you looking another way. That's two shots. Moving your hand a little lower on your hip or higher on your hip. Little changes can do a lot to change up the body, and your photographer should be helping you, direct you through all that and stuff, but just relax and know that you don't need to do these crazy broken doll poses every single time you hear that shutter click. Number 9, I think, is the most asked question of all time when it comes to posing, and that is what to do with my hands, right? Because it can be really awkward to know what to do with them. My advice always is to give them a job to do when you're posing. So whether you're by a building or a tree, putting your hands on that wall, you can put them on your hip, you can play with your hair. If you have a jacket or accessories or scarf, you know, be touching them, holding them, doing something with them. Put your hands in your pockets if you have pockets. Just give them something to do so you don't feel like they're just hanging down by your side and then you're just like awkwardly at the camera. I will say another tip is you just don't want your hands like this to the camera because it just looks a lot bigger. If you can think about turning it about sideways, it just slims down the whole look of the person. And number 10 is just communicate with your photographer. They are there to help you. More likely they've had experience posing other models like you, and just voice your concerns. I know some people feel like they have a good side, which I don't believe in that, but just tell your photographer they are happy to work around that. And if you're a photographer, just ask, do you have any concerns with posing? Most people obviously are going to say, make me lose 50 pounds or whatever, but at least, or if they're self-conscious about their arms is a big one, just ask and then reassure them like, okay, we will totally take care of that. There's lots of ways to slim that down or be more flattering or do poses so it's not so big and next to the camera, you know. Alright guys, I hope you found those 10 tips helpful. I do have a free posing guide, and I'll put the link down in the description box below. But comment below too, what was your favorite tip that you learned today, and any other tips you might have, or any other fears posing that you might have, and I will try to answer them all in the comments below because I love hearing from you guys. Alright, until then, I'll see you in the next one. Bye!